Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing okay. I actually wasn't sure if I was going to film this morning or not. It's Thursday, but I set something up this morning and then I decided that I wanted to talk about it. So here we are. My Proof of Life series is obviously a bit more sporadic in uploads than other series, but I haven't had to take a summer sabbatical yet, so I think that's good. I think it's working. The idea was always for Proof of Life to take some of the pressure off, and I think it has done that, and it's made things feel more sustainable, so I'm not gonna mess with it. My filofax, as you can see, is getting kind of full again. When I push on the rings, there's not a lot of give. I did only archive some pages in a binder kind of like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it's chunking back up again already, which I think is good. Last night I was thinking about it while working through some stuff, and I realised that when we hit September, I'll have been in some kind of ring system for a full year with no gaps, I think, which is incredible because it was September last year when I started the A5 binders, and then I went from A5, I think, to pocket to A6 to personal. So a bit of hopping, but I have no gaps in the year, I don't think. Maybe like 1 week I have a gap, like a single week, but the rest of it I think I've been maintaining the whole way, which is amazing, especially because I still have no updates from the sleep clinic. They really have just left me to fight for my life by myself. And my symptoms are still getting worse. I'm having quite a difficult time really behind the scenes, hence the long gaps in between videos. But I have the record, I have the information, I haven't lost the time, even though I literally have. And I have lost kind of like, I have holes in my memory, like it's just a lot of black voids up there, but I have it on paper, and that was kind of at least 80% of the point the whole time, was to get to a point where I had a system that worked, that I could rely on and look back on. And I have that, which is cool. It's one of those ones where it's like, I wanted it so badly for so many years, and then when I had it, it took me a minute to realise that I had found it, I think. Obviously I don't want to jinx it by talking about it like this, but I think it's okay to talk about it at this point. My personal rings especially is a system that has been working reliably, and I feel like I have just the right amount of space. I do sometimes miss pocket rings, but I'm like, I don't need them. I think I just like how small it is. Like this, it works, and I am really grateful for that. So, looking through my filofax then, I think you saw all of this in the last video. It was around 2 weeks ago, so I think you must have seen my trip to Bath. And then I think we're on, I think you saw this week. I saw Superman. Oh, I remember talking about Superman. Okay, so we got to that point, which means we're on this week. Is this a week? No, it's not a week. So it must be after this. Okay, that's fine. Here we are. So this is last week, I believe. Would that be right? I don't know. Time is really fuzzy for me these days, I'm not gonna lie to you, but I'll start from here and we'll hope that you haven't seen it. I have one of my moon calendars on here. I have my Alistair log for that week. I have my shoes, which finally are starting to wear in, by the way. They're not messing me up as badly anymore. I definitely talked about those in the last video. They did cut my feet up, like for real. But I do have one foot that's like a half size bigger than the other one, so I do tend to have a hard time wearing shoes in if they need it. And I am getting there. They're very nearly there. One of them doesn't rub at all anymore, and the other one is still rubbing, but I think mostly just because I won't let the scabs heal. I am determined to wear them in and not feel put off by the fact that they need some time. And so I've just been putting plasters over the scabs every day and hoping for the best, which I think, you know, is partly what has slowed it down. But they've been really cute to wear in the summer, and every time I go somewhere I'm like, well, I have to wear my cute shoes, so, you know, just girly things. There's a lot of blood that really stained. Wednesday's birthday, she turned 5. We had her 5-year vet checkup because they sent me this email that was like, now that your dog's a senior, and I was like, that is actually so disrespectful because she's only 5 years old. And small dogs can live to like 15 or 16, maybe even older if you get lucky. Like, so 5 is really like, she's still a baby. She's not acting like a baby though. She has fully embraced being like a cranky old lady. Like she hates everything, except me, which I suppose is a good thing. But we took her birthday photos like we always do, and then I took her to the vet for her checkup. She was so stressed at the vet that they couldn't take her blood pressure, so that's not helpful. Basically what happened was a couple of years ago now, maybe a year ago, when I took her to the vet, they clipped her nails while we were there, and the vet quicked her like 6 times in a row. Like she didn't stop after the first quick, she just kept cutting, and then she quicked like both paws, basically the full rounds, and now Wednesday is really fearful at the vet. This is not relevant to anything, it's just a side story. But it really sucks because Wednesday is a small dog and I worked really hard to desensitize her to a lot of things as a puppy. She's not scared of the Hoover, my biggest accomplishment. She now lets me cut her nails at home, my second biggest accomplishment. But she can be quite anxious. She is anxious inclined, and it just sucks that now the vet is so scary for her. So we have to go back next week with some anxiety meds so they can take her blood pressure at a normal rate, or a semi-normal rate anyway. But 5. We are literally that meme of when you get an emotional support dog that needs more emotional support than you. But it's okay because I love her deeply. Georgia Journals gave me this lovely stamp last month at the journal meetup, and so I added it onto this page. I thought it was super cute. As soon as I saw it, I was like, that's going to be perfect for Wednesday's birthday. I saw the new I Know What You Did Last Summer film. I was surprised by it. I thought it was actually a weirdly good time. It was better than I expected. I went in expecting the absolute worst, but I wanted to see it for fun because I really love the original. And it surprised me. It towed a very careful line between being obnoxiously modern but still a genuinely good time without dating itself too aggressively, I think. And so I would recommend it if you're curious. On the back of here I have a popcorn sticker. It came in some snail mail from a mutual on Instagram. And it is a scratch and sniff, so when you scratch it, it smells like popcorn, which is incredible. I was of the generation that grew up with like grape smelling erasers and stuff, but I don't know that I ever had scratch and sniff stickers. At least not ones that smelled as compelling as this. It genuinely, when you scratch it, it smells like buttered popcorn. It's incredible. I just think it's very cool. So I put that on the back of here. And I just think the colours with the greens and here as well are nice. I like how it kind of pulled together. So on this side I have pictures of my shoes and the cinema tickets. I did that thing when you put something between the toes of your tabby shoes. It cracks me up. I love it. It's honestly like one of my big reasons to live right now. It's just the entertainment I'm getting from my shoes. And then I have my calendar for August. It's kind of a busy month, to be honest, and I haven't written everything down. I've just written some stuff, but I went for kind of like a spooky summer theme because I would be lying if I said I was not getting ready to, you know, make my swoop into autumn and spooky stuff. I'm normally pretty good. I'm patient all through the summer. I don't really do Summerween. I like watching horror during the summer, but I don't do like a full Summerween. But I'm getting ready, to be honest. I'm starting to feel it. And because I'm working on Undermos still, and Undermos I'm doing late summer and then I'm doing autumn, and I'm on like the last page for summer. So like I'm ready to start channeling. And then this side, this is last week. I went to visit my friend who had a baby in December. Got to meet him. Really fantastic, really lovely. I also got a really good haircut, so I took a couple of pictures. Just because I think it's nice to celebrate a good haircut, and I don't tend to take many pictures of myself these days. I guess I just don't feel the need for it, if you will, but I got a good haircut and I was like, well, I've got to put that down somehow. And then again, just more pictures of my shoes and here. I've been doing my media log across 2 weeks, so this is last week, or last week and the week before, I think, or last week and this week, maybe. So I finished reading Black Sunshine by Karina Harler. That was good. I enjoyed it. I Know What You Did Last Summer. I watched... Why am I losing my voice? Oh my god, every time. I watched a Netflix show called Untamed, which was set in a national park. I think the mystery was just okay, but I loved the setting. I thought it was really cool. And I have been watching the second part of The Sandman. I haven't finished it just yet, just because I've been busy and I don't feel emotionally prepared for it to be over. And then once it is over, I am dropping, like, I won't be interacting with anything else because it all sucks really, really bad. But I wanted to see The Sandman through because of how much it's meant to me for the last few years while I've been working with the sleep clinic. And I'm not quite ready to say goodbye to it, so I've been really taking my time working through the second part of the second season. I think I only have 3 episodes left, including the new random sporadic one they dropped, the surprise bonus episode, and I'm not ready. Down here I talked about reading Black Sunshine. It turns out it has a sequel, so I'm reading that next. And then I wrote about wanting to see some horror movies in the summer, and then on this side I talked about hanging out with my friend and alternating between watching New Girl and Teletubbies. So that was fun. Alistair log pretty quiet. There was a lot of errand running and kind of working on Undermos. There was a Patreon video. I still make those. For those of you who don't know, I upload alternate week videos on Patreon most of the time. Sometimes on the quieter weeks when there's nothing to say I don't, but I do upload all the behind the scenes for Undermos as well, all the time. We're very active in the Patreon group chat. This side is a mood board for Undermos. And then I have the Google Maps screenshot of my grandparents' shop because it's actually still intact on there right now. I found that out at 2 in the morning and upset myself. But it's nice to know that I can still visit it for the time being. One of my patrons actually let me know last week that you can go back and look at the Google Maps history, so once they do update it you can still find the old scan or the old map, which is really good to know. But for now at least, I like that it's still there and it's still intact. So I added that. And then this was the haircut day and my shoes. And then this was when I went to see my friend and her baby. I've covered up his little face because he's too young to consent to being on YouTube with 70,000 people watching. But I have a little picture of me sort of touching his hand, and also when I was holding him when I was leaving. We went to Binley Mega Chippy, and like, this is really niche. I'm not sure if this was like a very specific British meme or if it broke containment. But do you guys remember for a while when Binley Mega Chippy became kind of a joke online and it was like a destination to visit and it had like 100,000 Google reviews or whatever it was? My friend lives in Coventry and we drove past it and I was like, is that the one from the meme? And she was like, yeah, did you not know it was here? And I was like, no, I had no idea. And we went there for dinner just for a laugh. And so I have the receipt because like it's so weird and specific, but it did make me giggle because I am chronically online. The food was just alright. The customer service was not great, but you know, that's funny, I guess. I have this happy days sticker on the back because I had a really nice weekend. And then on this side I just have some sort of Sunday evening reflections, and this picture of a toy that I bought for the baby. He really liked it in the end and I was really proud of myself for picking a good one, so I added it on there. And also because the colours are so nice. I think it's a really nice one. Like, some baby toys are really ugly and it's like, why and who and for what reason? But this one I think is nice, so I added that there so I don't forget. And then this week there's nothing to see. I cut a page out of one of my A6 books to see. I don't know, I'm just thinking, thinking a lot, percolating stuff in my mind. It kind of works, you know, like you could add these in, you could thread them through your pages and it would be fine. But I don't know that, you know, it's necessary. I think I just wanted to know if I could. So I have that in there, I have some spare papers. And then as far as Undermos goes, just a quick update because I am still working on it. The summer pages look like this at the moment. So this is the end when I made, this used to be like an end of the book page, but I changed it into like the close-up of the wall. I have kind of like a night sky and some breakfast. I have the ice cream and the sea dragons. I added these pages in. I don't know if you guys will have seen these, but I woke up at 2 in the morning in a cold sweat and I was like, I need to draw the shopkeeper standing in the sea, like reflecting. And I did, and I really liked it. And then after I finished it, I realised that I'd messed up my pagination, so then I added this page as well of him sat in the cliffs. And I think it's nice. It's like, I wanted the summer pages to feel like you were spiraling a bit, like they're very choppy, kind of like on purpose. It's like rapid entries, and then there's kind of like a quieter moment in the middle, where the old man is sitting and you're kind of with him, and I think that's nice. And then I have this one kind of about being like a bit poorly, because the whole way through Undermos I've kind of been like, I guess between the lines, if you will, reflecting on sort of like chronic illness and disability and stuff. Like when Miles is talking about he would rather have nothing at all than too little, and it's about going outside. Like that's kind of like, I guess, an obvious an obvious reflection on, you know, not being well enough to go out, which a couple of people picked up on. So like the themes are there very much, and I guess I wanted something a bit more explicit also because summers feel like that to me. And I like the idea of the reader not knowing why time is fuzzy kind of thing. It could be anything, like it could be a paranormal, or it could be chronic health stuff like I experience, or it could be, I don't know, it could be fairies. It's not, but it could be. There's a suspicious amount of nice food. I like the idea that the whole thing can be like really open to interpretation, and that you can choose to read it however you want. And there's a lot of different ways it can be interpreted, I guess. And then we get a little mini pocket binder, because I've been thinking about pocket binders. And then I was like, maybe if we have one in Undermos, then I won't feel the need to have one in real life. I'm not 100% convinced it's working, but it's nice to have it, and I think it will be fun to be able to draw little pocket pages over the top of like pages. It'll be like another element that I can add, and I think that'll be quite nice. So the shopkeeper gives it to you, and he says that when it runs out, there are more in the drawer under the till. And that's a reference to my grandparents' shop, because when I was a kid, there were stationery drawers under the till, or under the counter. And I used to go through them looking for notebooks and stickers and stuff, like really boring stickers. They weren't cool ones, they were just like office stationery stickers, but I used to look for them. And so that's kind of a reference to that memory. I think these pages turned out nicely. I'm like not convinced on the pagination. I'm not convinced it's flowing yet how I want it to or how I need it to, and that's why I keep going back and adding them in. But I also really want to move on from the summer, and also because we're less than 100 days to Halloween, so I'm running out of time. It's like no matter how early I start, I still am always behind. But I revisited the loyalty card for the pizza shop, and I think it's nicer now. I made it paler and I added some tomatoes and stuff, and I think it looks a bit cooler. The high street, and then I have my ghost staircase, my spectral staircase. I have this thunderstorm page where we talk to Miles. This one where you can draw like in the damp moss. Sometimes with certain types of moss, when they're really wet, you can run your finger over them and they change colour a bit, and you can kind of draw in them that way. And I wanted to add that to Undermos because it feels very fitting. So I've got like a handprint and some spirals and some stars, and I really like it. I forgot to print out the vending machine pages, just realised, but I have finished them finally. So there's pages about the vending machine, and a library has appeared, a little free library box, and so you're kind of swapping books around with Miles. So these pages are a mix of books, and then there's some stuff from the vending machine tucked in as well. And then I have a page on picking roadside blackberries, because that's something that is very present in the UK in the summer. You always catch people like out down the road with Tupperware boxes, just like absolutely like demolishing the bushes. And I have done that too, and my grandmother has done that. Like it's always been a thing. And so I wanted to draw something like that. I wanted to draw kind of like the leaves and the cobwebs, and then some more baking. And then for the last page of the summer, I think I'm gonna do a message in a bottle, which was a suggestion from one of my patrons. I think it's a really nice suggestion, and I think it could be a nice way, a neat way to wrap up the end of the summer pages. Kind of like a mysterious message in a bottle that's been washed ashore. So that's the one I need to work on this afternoon. But that's how Undermos is looking. I'm on 50 pages. This is 51 and 52, I think. It's labeled wrong. Yeah, 50, I don't know. We're on like 52 pages. And it's turning out nicely. This one I still haven't updated yet, and there's nothing else going on in the back of here. I just keep the tabs there. So that's my filofax. It's turning out well. Things are good. I'm gonna find a nice page to leave it on. In my A6 day 3, which I don't remember when I last showed you, I think I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting to show it to my patrons as well. But I have an A6 day free that I've been using kind of like as a diary, just a place to write things by hand. This one is my book that makes sense and is like cohesive and coherent, and then this one is not that. This is just the one for like writing stuff that doesn't make any sense when I feel like I want to be writing by hand, I guess. But I like to put stickers in here as well, so I have these pages. There's not too many, I think it's like 12 pages, which is not very impressive for like 2 months, but I did put it down for like 20 whole days, so that's my bad. This is from the last journal meetup, and then I have these ones, and these ones with Bronte stickers, and I have just kind of yellowy orange pages, which I did like in the end how it turned out. This is kind of like a place for me to play with stickers, I guess. And then I have these ones from yesterday with the toothbrush sticker. And that's it, but I have some stuff in the back, and then I just write in it when I want to. I've been kind of trying to work it out because this morning I then set up a new Commonplace book. And I did that in an A5 day free. I think because obviously Hobonichi season has just started. We're getting the previews. I've been trying to work out if I want an A6 or an A5 day free, or if I want both for next year. Like maybe I want a Commonplace book and my filofax is my archive, and then maybe I would keep the A6 as like a diary anyway. Like maybe I would just work through all three throughout the year and then I would be covered and there would be no floundering. I feel very confident in my filofax, so that's fine, that's not a concern for me. And that is like my main archive where I can look back at things and where I document things very clearly and where I put receipts and stuff. Like that is like the concrete place. And then these are my like wishy-washy books. I call them my standby books at this point. Is that what it is? It reminds me of Star Trek. My standby books, basically my two other options. So this one ideally would stop me from picking up a cousin halfway through the year. It's always March. I don't know what it is about March. Like no cousins in March this year. Next year. But I'm hoping that might solve that. And then the A6 as well is like a, you know. The day frees I think do work best because I don't keep up, and I like the space and how plain they are, and then you don't have to worry about the Avec colours, which I do. That yellow will really be the death of me. The downside being, of course, is that Hobonichi have said that day frees don't get the robot paperweight next year, which is so gutting. Because it's really cute, and my dad, like, one of his special interests is robots, so I was hoping if I got 2 books I'd get 2 robots and he could have one. We literally have a shelf of robot toys in the kitchen because my dad is so into robots. Like, it's serious in this household. And I'm not going to qualify for any robots, and I don't want to make a purchase that I don't need just to qualify for a robot. And also then I would have to get 2 because I want one, but I can't not give one to my dad. So it's like, what are we gonna do? No robots for us. I don't need to make an unnecessary purchase just to get a tiny robot paperweight. It's so silly. It sucks though, like why? Anyway, that aside, this morning I set up a new Commonplace book, and apologies if this video is a bit scattered. As I said, I wasn't really intending to make it, and then I realised I wanted to yap, and so you're getting the pure unfiltered messy yapping. Set up a new Commonplace book this morning because I want to test an A5 day free again. I had one last year, at the beginning of the year I think, or maybe the year before, I can no longer tell. But it wasn't quite working, and I think it's because I was trying too hard to make it like my cousin and being able to put printed articles in. I can do that now by adding filofax pages, so I'm less worried, but also I wasn't quite using it. Like the way I work has evolved since then, and so it's nice to give it a proper test again. These are the first 2 pages. It came at like 9 o'clock last night, so this is literally like the last 8 hours. But I added a photo of a composition book, and I titled it Commonplace Book, and then composition down here. I have this one that says follow me into an uncertain future, which I like, and then I added some notes and thoughts, kind of like my intentions, and then I added my key. I'm still using the Stalogy index dots. I think if you cut me I would bleed Stalogy index dots at this point. But I haven't filled all of them out just because I'm not sure these 2 categories are relevant to me anymore. It used to be like autistic references and then like Sherlock Holmes notes. I don't make a lot of Sherlock Holmes notes anymore, and what I do make I keep on my phone. I still like the idea of one day making a zine, but I'm not sure I would ever be willing to do it and share it. Like, I've been working on one for like 3 years, but it feels very private. So it's like, I don't know. But the grey one is for commonplace entries, so that's copied text, basically text that isn't mine. Articles, quotes, and stuff I've copied down. The light blue one is for work stuff, so illustration. I guess sometimes I file YouTube stuff under there too if I ever make YouTube notes. And then I've got purple still for brain drain, so that's miscellaneous personal notes. And then the black one I'm using for ghosts and hauntings, spooky stuff, because I do collect a lot of quotes about that. I've got dark green for Undermos, now that I have that as such a big part of my life. And then I've got the sort of sickly green as the bog book, which I always enjoy, so anything about wetland ecology. And that's kind of my headings for now. I think I do have an extra colour I can add if I need to. Can't remember what colour it is. I think it's brown. It comes on the green sheet, but I've left a gap for that. So that's how I set up kind of like my introduction page, and then for my daily pages I've just added those date stickers that I've bought before, some other stickers, my own sticker, and I'm splitting the page into columns. I just think it looks nice, and also because I'm used to writing in the A6 day free, and having the A5 is that bit bigger. It doesn't feel very intimidating because the book is flatter, but I like to break the page up. I don't like to have like a full page. And I realised that including the margin that's built in, it's 12 squares each, so it's like you can divide the page equally, like perfectly, and that's very satisfying. So I think that's how I'm going to work through the book, is in columns like this, and that's nice. I'll still probably use the left-hand side one as a margin, and then I'll use these two for the main body text. But that's all I have in there for now. I think it will be nice to have a commonplace book again, because if I'm being honest, I haven't been keeping many commonplace notes recently. I think mostly just because I've been so distracted with Undermos, because when I was in my A6 filofax and the A5 filofax, and even at the very beginning of my personal size, I did keep commonplace notes still. I had a few pages, a few articles, some stuff in there. But Undermos has consumed so much of my life, kind of like unintentionally, but also willingly, and that I've not been doing anything else. There's been no time for anything other than Undermos. Like, I eat, sleep, breathe, think about, dream about Undermos, which is fine. I'm having a good time, and it's a very welcome distraction with everything going on. But I think it would be nice to have maybe like a third space again. So I'm gonna try harder to keep more notes. At the moment, I'm not 100% sure on whether I'll maintain this one as well, or if I'm just going to give this one a proper go and see if I prefer it all to be in here. But there's still sort of like 5 months left in the year, so I'm just going to do what feels right, like whatever I'm inclined towards, and then make a decision at the end. I don't know what I'll order on September 1st. Obviously, the previews are only just starting. You can always pick up the day frees elsewhere. You don't really need to order them from Hobonichi directly, so I'll see how I feel at the end of the previews. The Moomin stuff that was announced this morning is very cute. I had my Moomin phase a long time ago, to be honest. I think I had it when I was 17ish, so I'm not as susceptible to that. I feel like I've had my Moomin phase and I've leveled out. And so I was like, oh damn, like those are nice, but I don't know that I need them. Except I think it's an A5 cover that's really nice, and I'm kind of, maybe, we'll see. It is very cool though, but we'll see how I feel. I don't know what else is going to come out, obviously. I do like, so far, the baby pink and chocolate brown covered A5 cover in the colour series. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called Sweet Cocoa or something. It is really cute. It really reminds me of like Nana or Paradise Kiss, so maybe I might choose that for this potentially, but as I say, I'm not making any decisions, and I'll let you know, I guess, what I decide to order if I decide to order anything. But I do think day frees are the way forward. I say that tentatively because I always chicken out next year, but we'll see. Okay, I'm gonna stop rambling because it's a bit much. But I'm looking forward to keeping a commonplace book again, and to being quite ruthless with it, I think. Like, I just want to be able to stick like packaging in if I have packaging. I never do, but if I did, I don't know, I just kind of miss having on. Oh, lastly, I almost forgot. I have an order from Journal Station. Haven't opened it yet. It literally just came as I was like clicking film. So I thought we could have a quick look. I'm gonna keep this little sticker. I always try to pick up a few things when I order from Journal Station, just because I'm in the UK and Journal Station is in America. To try and level out the shipping costs, or to make it feel worth it, I try and pick up a few things. And the packaging is always fantastic. It's just, there's so much care in it. And I always try and peel things off and salvage them. Like this, I'm going to keep this if I can get it off intact. And this one is really funny. I always end up with a lot of nice stuff, and oftentimes the freebies from Journal Station are good. So that's this pile. Like this little envelope. This one is a sticker, which is nice. Let's see what I got this time. Like, okay, I like this one. This one is really good. I feel like they get me at Journal Station. I like these two with the bears. And you know how I feel about the little ticket tape stickers. It's very reminiscent of the shop. I don't like the little Vita ones very much. I think that's how you say it. I do like these weird people with no faces. They are growing on me. I love these. I have some heart-shaped ones, I think, from one of my previous orders, so that's a good one to add to my collection. This one with the bear is something. I like this textured paper, it's pretty. And you can layer things on top of it. And this one too. Oh, the coffee. Excellent. A very good one. This one is nice. Yeah, so I mean, you get a decent amount. Sometimes when you order from stationery shops, I feel like they give you things and like I never know what to do with them. Like some of them I just think I would never use this even if you paid me, respectfully. So it's like I'm not sure what to do with it. But these ones I generally have more luck with. And the thank you note is always very cute. I'll open this one first and then we'll come back to the other envelope. So the main reason I was ordering was to get a set of these fabric tabs because I love them. I follow a lot of Japanese and Korean like ring binder accounts on Instagram, and a lot of them use these fabric style page tabs, and I just think they look really, really cute. I really like how like the effect of them. And when I saw these pop up on Journal Station, I was like, oh, because I had no idea where to get them, couldn't find them anywhere. And these ones are really cute. I really like the like hand soap and the bear, and I like these apples or pumpkins, whatever they are. And the pencil is cute too. And if you buy the 3-pack, then you can get obviously 2 of each design. This one has a little house and a heart, or it's a door. I think it's an open door. And the bear as well. I like all of them. That's why I ordered the 3-pack, because you can also get them individually. But I'm really excited to use those maybe the end of this year and also next year. I'm not sure quite where I'll put them just yet, but like they will be seen. I'm really excited about them. And it's by a studio called Rainy Days. I am a big fan. And then I got more of these ones by Jungo Innerside. I really like them. I have a half open pack here. I just think they're fantastic. I really like the effect, so I picked up some more of those. Journal Station is the only place I found where I can get those stickers, so I always try and hoard a bunch. I have a really good collection now. And I picked up these ones too because I love having day of the week stickers. I have a bunch. You can see them in my day free. I use them. Like this one says Tuesday, Sunday, Monday. These ones are Brontes, but these ones have numbers as well, so I have 7 and 8, and I layer them up. Like 26, these black ones, August. I just really like them and I wanted some more. I use them a lot. I think I ordered more actually, so I can show them to you. But I picked up these ones in black and pink, which would match the Sweet Cocoa cover. So that's something for next year and this year. And then in this envelope, and I really want to get this off intact. I always stick things on the edge of my table and then they end up stuck to like my shorts or my shirt. So I picked up 2 binders. That's the bulk of the order. That's what made it look so big. It's just 2 binders. I like the style of them. I think they're interesting. This one is like a pocket one, and this one is personal, so I just wanted to see. I'm not going to open them now because they'll be super crinkly and I have nothing to put in them. I just wanted to see them. I'm always looking for archive options. Oh yeah, so this is those stickers you saw in my day free. I ordered a second pack. And they're really good because you get loads. So now I have enough for like a year and a half. Because you get like you get 3 of each colour in each size. So I think it gives you a full year. And they're not even very expensive. I think they're like £6 for like a year worth of stickers. It's amazing. And as I said, I really love them on my pages. So excellent. So that is my journal station order. I have my little, I'm gonna put it maybe on the next page. And that is my new Commonplace book. Obviously it's pretty empty at the moment, but I am looking forward to filling it and to sharing that with you again. I really miss commonplacing, setting time aside for it and kind of going out of my way to read into things. I'm at the point in Undermos where I think I do kind of need to pick a direction. The idea was always for it to be hazy and kind of nonsensical. I wanted it to be non-linear. I don't know that it's really non-linear anymore, but I think it would be fun if it became that way later. Like if it started more coherent and then as time goes on we flip-flop between seasons, between pages, and it gets kind of weird. I do like the idea of that. It's kind of a project that has no rules because it's meant to be timeless and fuzzy and a bit odd, not like a bit not right. So I think that gives me a lot of freedom. But I think there needs to be a direction somewhere, so I need to read through some of the books I bought and the zines I have kind of about, you know, liminality and whatever else. I have a few, and I want to try and find kind of like a thread to follow, because otherwise I think it's not going to make any sense, and I don't know if that's quite what I want. I'm kind of letting Undermos lead me at the moment, and again I don't know if that's the right choice. I'm just kind of going in whatever direction I feel it's pulling me in, which is very cathartic, but I don't know what that's going to mean for the end result. So some commonplacing might be good, might be a good start, and I miss it. So okay, I think that's everything I have to share this week. Thanks for your patience between videos. I know things are a bit sporadic, but I am still here and I am still chipping away at my books, maintaining things, my filofax especially. And I'll probably maybe do like a Techo Kaigi sometime soon if you would like to see it, and I will also do a sticker collection because I know a few people have been asking. A Tamagotchi collection I'm not so sure about, just because I'm not very good at explaining tech. Like I wouldn't know how to describe it to you without doing like a full breakdown of each one, and I don't want to do that. It would take a long time, and there are people out there who have done it way better than I could. I can show you my paradise when I eventually open it, but I haven't done yet still. It's under my desk. I'm waiting. It'll be my reward for when I finish Undermos, because I don't want the distraction yet. So we'll see. But that's everything this week. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.